here's George Stoney, Betty's lifelong friend and companion, and Lulu, his daughter, on his side. Right here, George.
Betty and I traveled a great deal, and she helped me on a lot of films. And some people kept saying, well, what does Betty do on those films? She doesn't edit, she doesn't take pictures, she does, occasionally she does a little makeup, but what does she do? And I said, well, she makes friends. And anybody who's done a documentary knows that that's extremely important. You first have to get the commitment of people who are in front of the camera. And very often those people who commit themselves don't really know what they're in for until the cables start streaking across the lawn, or the camera moves into the kitchen, and the assistant lighting men start gelling the windows. And it's awfully nice to have somebody like Betty assuring them it's really going to be all right. They really know what they're doing, and you're going to be proud when it's done. I saw her do that in a very important way in Ireland when we were making the film about Robert Flaherty. I knew that the island had been abused by filmmakers before. So when I got there, I started courting the place. And I knew that we were going to be filming on the north end of the island, the poorer end of the island. So I deliberately got a place to stay there with Kate and Peter Flaherty, under thatch, small house under thatch, which had no running water, no electricity, and a pit toilet. And I spent a good part of the winter there courting her, courting the Flahertys, because I knew they had the trust of that community. Well, Betty came over, and she stayed at Nora's house just about a quarter of a mile up the road. And we went into Galway one evening, came back. By that time, Kate and Peter had been gone to bed. So I put the little presents we brought by the breakfast set and took Betty up to Nora's. The next morning when I came down, the presents were still there, plus a note saying, "You don't buy us with cheap presents." I thought, what in the hell? Here came Kate with my rasher, no eye contact. I said, but Kate. No, she walked out. Here came Peter with my tea. No eye contact, walked out. So as soon as I gobbled down my breakfast, I went up to Betty's and I said, what the hell could I do? She said, George, you just get lost for a while. Because I knew that she and I would meet for lunch at Kate and Peter's. I came in at lunch, and there they were giggling and laughing and having a wonderful time. And Peter and all that, as though nothing had happened. So as soon as we finished lunch, I said, Betty, let me walk you back to Nora's. And I said, what did you do? And she said, I walked in, and I said, Kate Flaherty, somebody ought to put you across their knee and spank you, and I think I will. And we started wrestling, and she started giggling, and Peter started giggling, and that was it. Well, that was Betty, and she did that time after time after time. Thank you.